Project Open Paw, a love story. Project Open Paw is a nonprofit organization for the pets of people living on the street. Paul Crowell started Project Open Paw while he was volunteering at an animal shelter. On his way to and from the shelter, Paul saw the homeless encampments, some including beloved pets that were in need of basics as much, if not more, than the animals at the shelter Paul volunteered at. It took time, but Paul built trust with the different communities that are already often more marginalized by people that judge rather than help. Paul showed up regularly with food the animal shelter would have thrown away. He got to know the people, the pets, and the stories. There are sad stories about good people that love their companions. Paul was there to help. Soon it became more than food. It became toys, leashes, collars, tags. Then, as in every story like this, comes the first truly desperate need for help. Yankee. Yankee was his name, and he needed Paul. He needed him to his very heart and soul. Paul knew it when he saw him. Yankee was not living a happy, loved life. He was malnourished and mistreated. The need was greater than the judgment. Paul talked Yankee's owner into surrendering him to him, and Project Open Paw was born. Paul realized his true calling and purpose was his ability to connect with beast and man and provide opportunity for salvation for both. Project Open Paw now provides services beyond Paul's daily food runs: emergency veterinarian services, boarding and fostering for unique situations a street person might find themselves in, grooming, regular vaccinations, and also where the story we want to share today now begins, with Bubba. Bubba belonged to a street person. He wasn't a dog that Paul knew, but that would soon change. One day, Dion Lim of ABC7 and her husband spotted a dog going in and out of traffic just south of Market Street in San Francisco in early July. They were concerned enough to follow the dog and call San Francisco Animal Care and Control. While they waited, they took a picture and sent it out to a person on Project Open Paw's staff. The picture went out to the dog lovers in the area. The stray dog, wearing a harness, was found. Soon the stray dog had been identified: Bubba. Bubba was about 4 years old, and many people on the street described him that day as gentle, loyal, and maybe sometimes a little sad. It became apparent that Bubba's owner was an addict. Bubba was described usually staying close to his owner as he nodded off on drugs, or sometimes walking behind his owner slowly down the street, dragging his leash behind him. As the days passed, no word about or from Bubba's owner came. Sadly, when living on the street, so many things could have separated them and prevented them from finding each other again. That is the other side of the work of Project Open Paw, making sure that the pets are safe. Like the first dog that inspired Paul to dedicate his life to the dogs on the street, Yankee. Sometimes things seem to happen when your heart needs them the most. After 2 wonderful years with Paul, Yankee died in early July, leaving such an empty space in Paul's heart it took him days to even really talk about it to those closest to him. But in those days, the story was emerging, and Paul was watching the instant message conversations about Bubba. After the vet saw Bubba, the story was even more clear. He was definitely a street dog. Debris in his nose and ears, some scaling spots, some hairless spots, all things an animal living on the street would be likely to have. So it was time to make a plan for Bubba and make sure he got his chance at happiness, like Yankee and the others Paul had rescued, then placed. The days passed while Bubba was put on stray hold at ACC. This is to see if his owner would come and claim him or wanted him. Every day we checked on Bubba. Soon it was the day before Bubba was going to need to be adopted and then possibly boarded until Project Open Paw could find him a forever home. The call went out, and Paul built the fundraiser page for Bubba. It was somewhere in all this, with his heartbreak over losing Yankee, that Paul began to wonder about Bubba. Soon, adoption day came for Bubba at the ACC. What was going to be a trip to a boarding facility soon became a forever bond happening right before everyone's eyes. It was obvious from the very first second that they met each other that Paul was what Bubba wanted so badly. For all those possibly sad years, he'd been a loyal companion to someone that was neglecting him within hand's reach. Soon the dog Bubba was meant to be emerged. After life on a leash outside, Bubba was going home. Animal work is never easy on any level. You always wish you could do more. And many times so much more is really needed. This is just one happy story that Project Open Paw has been a part of. Well, really, it's the story of Yankee and the beginning of Bubba's story. If you would like to help Project Open Paw continue to support the companions of those most in need during these times, the street pets, help us help them. There are so many ways you can help us do more. Please check out our website at www.projectopenpaw.com. Thank you so much.